Welcome to the first Smart Warp sample project. This video guides you step by step through the construction of a small shelf. You will see how easy it is to work with Smart Warp and learn about the main features. Afterward, you will be able to independently construct simple furniture and prepare it for manufacturing. Make sure to watch this video completely, as it explains features that we won't cover in detail in every video later. Let's get started. The first step is creating a basic volume. To do this, please ensure that the Elements library is displayed on the right side of the program window. You can recognize it by the label of the corresponding tab at the bottom of the screen. Once the Elements library is selected, click at the top of the volume section on the volume labeled Base and drag it into the workspace while holding the left mouse button, then release the mouse button. The Properties window opens at the top left, displaying the respective properties of the selected object and allowing you to edit them. This applies to all objects, from workpieces and dividers to fittings and connections. Only the actual properties are displayed. Thus, the window changes continuously. Give the volume a different name, then change the dimensions as well. This determines the maximum outer dimensions of our small shelf. A quick tip: if you ever lose orientation, you can restore the view by clicking on Center View at the top right. This helps you quickly get back on track. The volume is simply a virtual auxiliary construction that allows you to position real construction elements as desired. So let's start with the first real construction element now. In this case, it's the lid. Drag and drop a horizontal panel from the Workpieces section to the desired position in the volume. Once you release the mouse button, you will see the properties of the new panel in the Properties window. Rename the panel to Lid. Now add side panels to your construction by dragging vertical panels to the correct positions with the mouse. Call the first panel Side. As you can see, this name is already available as an option for the second side. Now add an intermediate shelf to your design by positioning another horizontal panel vertically in the center. When an object is selected, Smart Warp displays three-dimensional directional arrows, allowing you to change the position of movable elements. The arrow relevant to the current direction of movement is color-coded. In this case, the panel can only be moved along the Z-axis, which is why it is shown in blue. Click and hold the blue arrow to move the panel up and down within the volume. With the snap function enabled, the snapping positions are marked by yellow stripes. In this case, it divides the volume into halves or thirds. The thickness of the current panel is naturally taken into account. However, the distance can also be set directly via keyboard input. Simply click in the measurement field, change the value, and confirm it by pressing Enter. Now insert a back panel. Tip: if you place the cursor in the input field for a value but don't change it, and instead hold down the question mark at the top of the Properties field, you'll see how changing the selected value would affect your design. Set a thickness of 8 mm and a setback of 20 mm now. You can also use basic mathematical functions in these input fields to calculate values, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. For a back panel, you can also adjust the overlap either individually for each side or collectively for all sides. Change the overlap to 8 mm and see how the groove automatically adjusts accordingly. So, our small shelf is almost finished now. Next, select the library for machining operations. The free edits and connecting edits are displayed. Now, simply select dowels as the connecting process. Change the template settings to 3 instead of 2 dowels, and move the dowels to the desired position where they will automatically snap into place. At the same time, the values are displayed in the Properties window. Here, you can adjust them individually by keyboard input. But there is a more efficient option. To try this out, first remove all connections again. Use the symbol of the crossed out drill for this. Now select the surfaces you want to connect directly from the drop-down menu at the top left of the editing library. These will be immediately marked. Now you can apply the suitable processing step. You can also mark all possible connecting surfaces at once. Now choose a combined connection of connector and dowel. Make sure to use 2 dowels and 2 connectors per surface, and then click the drill symbol. Voila! By the way, you can access the view of the connecting surfaces via the editing button in the mode section. Another click switches back to normal mode. Now activate the material selection. The view now changes to the photorealistic mode. It's time to replace the default material and select your own. You will find the available materials on the right in the material library. You can easily drag a material onto a surface or edge with the mouse. You can also mark multiple or all elements at once. Use the selection frame, for example, to draw a frame around the entire construction and select it. When all elements to be changed are selected, exit the frame mode and select the surfaces to be edited in the selection window. Select the right, left, and front edges and the surfaces. Then drag the desired material onto the marked object and release the mouse button. All surfaces and selected visible edges are now covered with the desired material. So you've successfully constructed your first piece of furniture with SmartWarp. Congratulations! Of course, the piece still needs to be exported to bring it to life in production. To ensure everything is in order and easily found later, you should adjust the project properties of your furniture. Enter all important data via keyboard into the respective input fields. Once your project is adequately labeled, select the Export folder in the File menu. Several options are available to you. For example, start by exporting the material list. Choose an appropriate storage location and, if necessary, change the file name. Once the export process is complete, the default program set in Windows for Excel files will start, and the exported material list will be displayed. The data at the top of the list is taken from your project data. If you have created data for edges, veneers, paints, and suppliers in SmartWarp, they will also appear in the material list. A small illustration shows how the object should look. Of course, the dimensions are included, as well as detailed information about each individual component. Purchased parts such as connectors, fittings, etc. are also listed in the material list. To manufacture the furniture, you now need to export the files for passing them to your CNC machine. So save and done. You've seen how easy you can make your work with SmartWarp. If you're satisfied with the storage so far, why not try creating your own design? It will be just as easy for you. If any questions arise in between, you will find the answer in the support area at smartwarp.de. And now, have fun and much success with SmartWarp.